right. Tell me about yourself and the history of your family in East Cleveland.
From the time that I first became acquainted with East Cleveland,
Yes.
I had a very dear friend who had a house, second black on this street,
Mm-hmm.
Milan Avenue. And this house I'm in now was vacant.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for a phone company. It was Ohio Bell. Then it became AT&T.
Right.
And the young lady who owned this property worked at Neela.
Oh, at Neela Park?
Yes. But she had also worked at the old Ohio Bell Company.
Okay.
And she was a cousin, and this property was left to her, so she had it up for sale.
Mm-hmm.
This house had been vacant for 2 years, and it was clean, and had been wallpapered, and the basement was vacant and clean.
And how long ago was that?
That was in 1968.
Wow, you've been in this house since 68.
I've been in here since 1969.
Okay. That's the year after Martin Luther King was assassinated. Right.
All right.
And you've been here ever since then?
Yes, I'm a widow, and I lived in Glenville
Mm-hmm.
with my parents, and I had 2 children. I have 2 children.
Mm-hmm.
They were school age at that time, and I wanted us to have our own residence.
Mm-hmm.
So this was available. This was available, and in my where I could afford
Oh, okay.
to purchase it.
Where were you working at that time?
I was working for the phone company.
Oh, you were working with the phone company?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said your friend was working with
No, I was,
I
was working for Ohio
okay.
Bell.
Ohio Bell. Okay.
Yes, and I worked there 21 years,
Wow.
and retired from Ohio Bell,
Mm-hmm.
which is now AT&T.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this street was a few black families, quite a few non-black families here.
In 69.
Right.
Yeah.
And it became more and more.
Mostly homeowners.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the people that moved here were owners.
So you moved here with your 2 children?
Yes, I have a son who is now 68 years old.
Oh, okay.
He lives in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
He's an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to Glenville High School, and he won a scholarship to the Institute of Art.
Oh, great.
And then he has had various shows. Now he's not acquainted with artwork.
Oh, he's not anymore?
No, he all his big time was in the 60s.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have some of his work?
Yes, I do.
You keep around? Oh, that's his work right there.
That's a self-portrait over there that he did at the Institute.
Oh, this one right here.
Yes, and that's his, which helped him to get his scholarship. And the one over the piano.
I'm just going to move this over here.
Okay.
So we can
I got
see
so much stuff I would have moved some of it.
the self-portrait. And this is one of his works.
Yes.
And this wood piece.
Yes.
Oh, he did great work.
He went into sculpturing.
Okay.
He had various Cleveland State. He had art show.
Oh,
And he
okay.
had a couple of CWRU.
Oh, and he's at in New York now.
Now, yes,
And-
and he just took a retirement.
Okay.
Worked for the city of New York.
And you had a daughter,
My daughter lives.
and you have a daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's Just turned 65
Wow.
in February.
That's great.
And she took an early retirement.
She went on and did it, huh?
She used to work for the government.
Yeah.
She worked for school board,
Yeah.
Cleveland School Board. And she's now a resident of Euclid.
Oh, okay.
But
So she stays close by.
she's my main person that takes me to my appointments
Okay.
and keeps a track of me.
Not like family.
Right.
Did any of them go to school in East Cleveland?
Well, my grandson, Ricardo Martin,
Okay. Your
he
grandson?
graduated from Shaw.
Okay.
And my great-grandson, he went to Shaw and he went to the middle school.
Oh, at that time it was probably Kirk.
Kirk, right.
Yes,
Yes.
right.
And he did well.
Yeah.
And
How did you feel about the school system when in East Cleveland when your grandkids were going there?
I really admired their school system.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to stay in touch. I used to take my great-grand to all he was an athlete.
Okay.
I used to take him to his practices,
Mm-hmm.
baseball, football, basketball.
Right.
And when they'd go out of town, I would take them.
Right.
I knew
Yeah.
all the coaches and
And so you felt like East Cleveland had a pretty good school system at that time.
I did, yes indeed.
Yes. Right.
And they still do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Yes.
so too.
And in the past, a lot of well-known people went to Shaw High.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, yeah.
Can you name any of them?
Not offhand, I can't.
Yeah.
But
I know this newscaster they have with Dawson.
oh yeah, Wayne, yes,
Dawson, and his brother.
yes, I do. I do know them.
His brother's the judge.
I know.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we do have
Yeah.
some pretty
And
famous
Wayne, I
people.
met Wayne through a church. I used to take a friend to church over in Glenville.
Right. Yeah.
And I watch him most I can on Channel 8.
Yeah, yeah, I try to watch him too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I admire his young brother too.
Yeah, I do too. I think they're doing a great job representing people from East Cleveland.
Right.
Can you think back to your earliest memories of East Cleveland and tell me what life was like then?
All right, when I first became active over here in East Cleveland as a homeowner,
Mm-hmm.
I tried to get involved in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And I had used City Hall for all of the services that they had and they had a wonderful setup for the residents of East Cleveland.
Right.
I have my book that they gave me when I first went.
Oh, okay. About the rules and regulations.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I
and
remember.
oh yeah.
Yeah, well, they
I
don't
have
have
all
that anymore.
I have it.
Yeah.
I certainly do. And I also have a listing as they've changed all the way to contact all the
Okay.
building and housing and the service department
Yeah.
and the health. We had wonderful health. We had Huron Road Hospital,
Yeah. You're
and which we used. And now Stephanie Tubbs' clinic is a lovely place.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
They do a good job.
Right.
Losing Huron Road was a big loss to the city, but Stephanie Tubbs Jones Health Center seems to be a good replacement.
It is, and that's what we need for now the changing.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember some of the past mayors that we had here, and I was acquainted with all of those, and also was in on the beginning of the East Cleveland Neighborhood Center,
Oh, okay.
which was started at St. Paul's Episcopal Church on Euclid Avenue.
Now, East Cleveland Neighborhood Center, that's a group that does things for the different youth around the
That's
city.
right. Yeah.
That's where they focus is, on
Right.
the youth.
Right.
And they've been around quite a while.
At that time that I was active, I was in the foster grandparent program.
Okay.
And we used to give puppet shows and different projects at all the different preschool locations. And most of the churches in East Cleveland, we had different days that we would come in and bring our Say No to Drug program. And it was a lot of involvement with the parents. Parents were very, very interested in keeping up with the kids.
Yeah. Have you seen a change in that over the years as far as parent involvement?
Well, only thing that I can really say is it seems that the parents are not in the same age category.
Okay.
And
they're much younger today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it seems like the children are under a little different set of rules.
Yeah, right.
But we have a lot of lovely families. Various.
Now, early on, we had a different form of city government.
Yeah.
Now we have a mayor and council, but early on, I think we had a city management.
City management, right.
Yeah. Did you feel like that was a better form of government, or what do you think about the form of government we have now?
Well, it seemed as though they had more observant from the residents then. But as the population changed to more Afro-Americans, and our culture is a little different. And it's like you say, our little villages.
Right.
And I love our culture. And we became used to not so strict rules as we had with the management setup.
Okay.
Yeah, the people here voted. They voted for a mayor.
Right, right.
And of course, our council has changed through the years. We've had some that were more able to get a lot of things done that is just like our economy now is entirely different.
Yeah, yeah.
But in all, even though a lot of East Cleveland has been left to negligence,
Okay.
and we are turned around now.
How does that make you feel, remembering how East Cleveland used to be, say right on this street on Milan, and the changes you've seen?
Well, when I moved over here, people weren't as neighborly.
They were not?
No, and I worked a night shift. Therefore, I didn't get closely acquainted with a lot of my neighbors.
Okay.
But my children did. My children know everybody. They went to Shaw and Curbs.
Right.
And I went when I could.
Okay.
And now a lot of the original owners have moved.
Right.
And some of them in the same age category as me have passed on. So they tell me that I'm privileged to still be here.
Yeah.
So I guess I am.
And you look good, too. I hope I look that good when I get to be...
Well, we have a lot of blessings.
Yeah.
They come in one way or another.
Yeah.
But I just feel so blessed to have grandchildren.
Right.
A lot of my friends didn't have any grandchildren. It seems like we have more younger people now. And as the population changes and everything changes. But I do have no intention of leaving East Cleveland, and I don't know anywhere I would rather live.
Okay.
And I hope some way I can be of some help in helping us to go back up like we used to be.
Well, since I've been
Yeah.
knowing you, you've always tried to help on the street and in the neighborhood, and so just keep doing what you're doing. uh, what are your fondest memories of East Cleveland?
Well, actually, one of the most fond this memory is my parish, St. Paul's
Mm-hmm.
Episcopal Church. Can't call the exact address, but it was close to Noble Road.
Oh, it's close to Noble.
Right.
Okay.
Just at the foot of Noble Road.
Okay.
That big stone church with the red doors.
Okay.
That was St. Paul's.
Is it on Noble or?
It's on Euclid.
It's on Euclid
Just before
Park.
before you get to Noble Road.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Oh, I know where you're talking
We had
about.
the most-
Red doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had the most beautiful leaded glass windows.
Right.
And believe it or not, no one has damaged them.
That is fantastic.
They're still intact.
Yeah. Is it still called St. Paul's?
No.
Okay.
The building's been sold a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
But from what I understand, I don't have the heart to go in there now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's where we started our East Cleveland Neighborhood Center.
That's
in
where it
that
started,
church.
right there.
Right.
Right.
And we have a lot of fond memories.
Right. That's it.
And I also worked on the after-school program there.
Okay.
And we had all kinds of projects going for the youth of East Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I have participated
Right.
in a fond way.
And yeah, I know that you participated. And early on, do you feel like citizens were more participatory in these kind of activities than they are now, or do you see a change?
Believe it or not, in those days when I was participating, only the things that really interested me was I into.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we have the council
Okay.
and very active council and very active mayor,
Mm-hmm.
my interest has increased again.
Okay, right.
And I feel like if I I'll say, I don't drive anymore,
Mm-hmm.
I would participate.
Mm-hmm.
But I am in the Friends of the Library. I've always worked with the library part too.
East Cleveland has a great library.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And believe it or not, a lot of my friends my age, I was in a bowling league for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we bowled downtown. But many of them were residents of the Helen Brown.
Helen S. Brown?
Right. And I think I'm about the oldest one now
Mm-hmm.
left.
Yeah. I remember there being a bowling alley in East Cleveland.
I used to live in that place.
Right, yeah.
Shaw.
Right,
where
Shaw Lane.
where Walgreens is now?
That's right.
Behind there?
Right behind there.
Right.
I remember those
Oh,
lanes.
yes. I used to love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those are the kind of things that we miss in East
Right,
Cleveland.
that's
You
true.
know, and I'd like to see.
Yeah.
I would like to see come back.
Yeah.
In what ways has the city changed over time, and what do you think contributed to those changes?
Well, and I believe most families have been affected one way or another
Mm-hmm.
with a lot back in a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
the drugs program
Mm-hmm.
tried to get a hold on the increase of drugs in the city.
Right. It was a pretty big problem at one
Yeah,
time.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we had a lot of projects going that was fighting that.
Okay.
And I believe now that we've overcome that problem, or it's not as...
as prevalent?
No, it isn't.
Right.
Yeah. And I happen to be from a musical family.
Mm-hmm.
I used to have piano students.
Okay, yeah.
I went
noticed
to
you have
the
piano.
Cleveland Music Settlement for 12 years.
Yeah.
And I had some elderly students. All they wanted to do was play a couple of their favorite hymns.
And I know that feeling. I've always felt like I would own a piano in my house one day. And not to record anything, just to, if I felt like playing the piano, it was there.
Right.
Which had never happened, but I'm glad to see you have one.
The first piano I acquired when I lived in Cleveland on Blaine Avenue off of Crawford Road.
Okay.
Cause see, I went to school at Huff Elementary, Addison Junior High, East, and I graduated from East High School.
East High, right.
And over 60 years ago.
Yeah.
And our neighbor, his name was Mr. Cooper. He had a lot of property on the Crawford Huff area.
Right, I know the area.
And there was only a sprinkling of blacks in those days.
Wow.
And he had an old piano down there, and he had told my dad if he would help him roll that piano up the street, I could have it.
Wow, yeah, that was your first piano.
Yeah, that was my first piano.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, how has race and racism impacted you personally, and how has it impacted the city of East Cleveland?
Well, I used to help in the voting booth in voting time.
Okay.
I lived in Glenville then, off 105 between Superior and St. Clair. And one of our past judges, Judge Jaffe, and another young lady that helped in the voting booth. We worked for him, helped him to get on the ballot and how and all. He had influence in hiring. In those days, if you knew somebody, that was opened the door for you.
Was that mostly if you was African American?
Right.
Okay.
So we called on him to help us to get employment. This was near the end of World War II.
Okay.
And I was hired at TRW.
Okay, right.
And this friend of mine, she also helped in the voting booth. We were the only black women that they hired on the production line.
At TRW?
At TRW, at 235th and Euclid.
Right, I remember. You know, that was, they had a lot of big companies up there.
Oh, yes. Oh,
TRW, Parker Hannafin.
Right.
They had a couple, Fisher Body.
I worked at Fisher Body too.
Right, and a lot of those people that worked up in that area lived here in East Cleveland.
That's right. And we were the first people to come down here into East Cleveland.
Right, and see, when we lost a lot of those companies, that might have had a lot to do with a lot of influx moving out.
Right.
You know.
And you see, the railroad runs behind. I'm in the lower valley, as they call it.
Okay.
And I can hear the
train right
train.
there.
I had to get used to that.
Right.
Don't bother me at all. I love it.
Yeah. I like hearing it myself.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes at night I can hear the whistle.
Yeah, 12 o'clock midnight.
Yeah,
you know what time it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and the whistle isn't as active as it used to be.
Yeah.
Because all the big manufacturing companies use this location.
Right. Right.
on account of the transportation, the
Right.
trains.
Mm-hmm.
We used to go sit out on our lunch hour. We'd sit out on the dock at TRW
Mm-hmm.
and eat our lunch, and we watched the trains go back and forth.
And this is before it was a lot of African
Oh
Americans
yeah,
working there.
yeah.
Okay, did that impact you negatively at all, or were you treated fairly?
Now that is a really funny story because when they first brought me into the big production part of the plant,
Mm-hmm.
we were the little young lady's name was May,
Okay.
May Cook, and we were looked at, and I couldn't believe that two black people were coming to work with them in the main part of the plant.
Okay.
So we did have some unpleasantness, but not much.
Okay.
We were accepted.
That's good. That's good.
My first supervisor was a Hungarian young man, and he would scratch his head. He didn't know what to say to me.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I took him over to the Coke machine, and I said, I can't call his name right now. I said, my blood is the same color as yours. And I said, yeah, you know what? I said, any way that you talk to any human being, you talk to me.
That's right.
And we became very good friends.
Because you was just.
I helped him for his other workers about different nationalities. We had a better rapport with our boss.
Right.
He didn't know how to.
He didn't know how to.
He didn't know how to handle being a boss at that time.
Okay.
So it just kept developing until it was a very pleasant place.
I guess you kind of put him at ease.
Oh yeah.
And that was important. Yeah. How about living on this street back in the day when there wasn't too many African Americans in this part of the town? How was the city government and the police department as far as racism is concerned?
Really can't tell you too much about that because I had no connection. And as I said before, I worked nights, so I wasn't in the hum of daily activities.
Okay.
But we had a lot of little taverns on Hayden.
Okay.
Hayden was a very busy little street.
Right.
We had gift shops. We had.
There was a movie theater there at one time.
I think so.
Yeah, there was a Hayden Theater up there at one time.
That was before me.
But that was a busy area.
Yes, and very pleasant.
And there was no problem with you going up there.
Oh no.
Even though it wasn't.
Oh no.
Okay, it wasn't a lot of African Americans in the city at the time.
But one thing I noticed, we had a lot of apartment buildings that were demolished.
Okay.
And all the little street taverns soon moved away.
Okay.
So it was more residential. We had a lot of churches that moved into this area.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of churches.
East Cleveland has a lot of churches now.
Oh Lord, yeah. Yes, indeed.
Okay. How has inequality impacted you personally? How has it impacted the city of East Cleveland? Inequality. I guess maybe we touched on that a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, the activities have dwindled down. The Martin Luther King Center used to be very busy. It still is.
It is today.
And it's always been a very positive thing in our.
Right.
And we had a wonderful post office.
Yeah.
And we had branch libraries then.
Yes.
Caledonia and North Branch.
Right here on Hayden Avenue.
North Branch. That's North Branch.
Right. Yeah.
And we had a lot of activity.
Yeah, Silverman's been there for quite a while.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Trying to think what was there before Silverman.
Oh.
What was it? Drugstore?
Was it Giant Tigers? I
Gold
think
Circle or one
yeah,
of those?
It was something like
yes,
that.
it was a, yeah.
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 Okay, can you recollect a memory or instance when the community fought for something? When people came together to do something positive for the community?
We had a lot of things going on, so many things. For one thing, when you think about it, we have all new, up-to-date buildings, school system.
Okay.
It's very, it's grown, and it's very active, and the students have very program, different job training for them.
And I remember earlier you speaking on you was working with some groups that was fighting the drug trade that was coming into the city.
Oh yeah.
I guess that was a community effort.
It was.
Yeah.
It certainly was.
Right. And that was a big thing, you know.
Right.
That was a big thing because the drugs had gotten so prevalent in this part of the city. And it took the people to really do something about it. Yeah.
Everything that we did, all of the services that were open to us, really did an outstanding job. Our trash department, we had our own television program. What other suburb has their own television
TV show,
network?
That's right. Right. Yeah.
I think that's really a plus.
Yeah, I do too.
I hope that we can get more East Clevelanders to change over
to
East Cleveland Cable, because that way you know what's going on and you're able to participate.
Right.
Last night, the mayor called me. It's one of his open
open forums. Yeah.
forums, and I can't attend them in person, but I keep him. I put the speaker on, and I enjoy that.
That's a good
Right.
good thing that we have.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And we have a nice Helen Brown Senior.
Oh yeah, the senior citizens.
Senior center, and has various activities for the seniors.
Have great activities up there, and I guess that was my next question. How have surrounding institutions and cities impacted East Cleveland?
Yeah, well, Helen Brown, the senior center.
That's
And
a plus.
They're also beginning, the work is on to get another senior building.
Yes, the
built.
new living quarters for seniors right next door to Stephanie Jones. That is going to be a big asset to the city. Yeah, right.
Now, from what I understand, also we have McGregor's senior building, and they have really.
That's an amazing place.
They have really built.
I enjoy just going up there, walking around.
Wow, me too.
Yeah.
And it's lovely.
It sure is. I have a community garden up there.
Do you?
Yes.
You know, one day when I was driving,
yeah,
I decided to go down. I said, let's see what all's up here.
Okay.
And the grounds are beautiful.
They sure are.
And they used to have a school. I think it's still in. They had a school for special children.
Oh yeah, it's still there.
Still there.
That's back up in there.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a nice peaceful path just to walk up and down.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, but if you go all the way to the back part, you go when you first go in and go all the way to the back. That's where they had the community gardens.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I grow my vegetables up there.
So you should have let me know that.
Yeah.
I would go volunteer to come up there and help.
Oh, that would be so nice. Yeah.
And we have senior gardens on some of the other locations now. You know,
Okay.
Gladys Walcott.
Yes.
She has
yes.
one on 4th Street.
She sure does.
And
yeah.
then there's one at the Coit Road Market.
I think
Across from there, they have.
that's another good thing that
And
the
that was on
community
the
is doing.
that was on the television
Right.
the other night.
Yeah. It's great that people are starting these community gardens
Right.
all around, and so that we can use some of this empty space from these buildings being torn down.
Right, right.
Yeah. Okay. What is your vision for a future for East Cleveland? And tell me about the major issues that need addressing in order to better your neighborhood, community, and the city.
I don't think that I am the person to ask that question, because all I see going on now
Mm-hmm.
is positive
Okay.
and going, it's a plus. And it takes time to build up something
Mm-hmm.
that has had needed to repair for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But it is certainly striving. The young people that have come back to East Cleveland and who have decided to stay here, this is as their resident, and raise their children in
Right.
these lovely new schools,
Mm-hmm.
and the library and all the. There's one other place that I think has been neglected we have a Bill Pat music store across from the library.
Oh, Bill Cash.
Bill Cat.
Yes.
That is a beautiful place, and
Yes, it is.
certainly a plus to East Cleveland.
Been here for ever since I can remember.
People come from all over to his place.
Mhm.
I went up and played for him one time, and he was surprised.
Right.
Let's see what else. Also, we have RTA.
RTA right there.
We got
at
the
Windermere.
terminal right up there, and
Hey.
this is the best location.
You're absolutely.
Ohio.
I have to agree with
You
you
know, it
100%. You cannot beat this location.
Sure can, and we ain't
Yeah.
giving it up either.
Nope.
Ooh. And I've always been close to University Circle
Right.
all my life.
And how do you feel about all of the activity that's, because University Circle seems to be moving in this direction.
It is.
No.
It's moving up the road,
That's right.
closer and closer.
I see they just built some new apartments down
Yeah.
there called Circle East.
Yes, they have a lot of condos
And
in
they
town.
built those in the East Cleveland part.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And I remember years ago when I was a young lady, a young widow,
Mm.
I tried to find a good paying job so I could raise my children.
Okay.
And there used to be a bicycle company on the corner
Okay.
of Lakeview and Euclid.
Oh, okay.
And back in those days, they only had a certain amount of blacks that they would hire.
At Lakeview or Euclid?
Yeah, they made bicycles. I can't call the name of it right now.
Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
now there's a big lot there. That's where they're.
Isn't that where Huff Bakery was too?
I work.
Yeah, Huff Bakery was right there. And
I had
that
a
was
lot
a-
of friends from
Yeah.
that worked at Huff Bakery,
Okay.
and my daughter, she used to get extra work there during the holidays. They would hire people to make the hors d'oeuvres.
Oh, okay.
When my mother and them had their 50th wedding anniversary, we hired Huff Catering,
Oh,
and as I say, a lot of my friends worked for Huff Bakery.
Huff Bakery, that was a big
Oh,
plus
yes.
for East Cleveland
Yes.
back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, one final question. What would you be prepared to do to participate in making East Cleveland a better place to live?
Well, I'm hoping that all the extension and growth that's coming along Euclid Avenue
Mhm.
is bringing it back with their new, the islands that are
Oh, okay.
separating the regular traffic from the buses.
Right.
And we've got these huge buses over here.
Yes.
Now we have having a controversy about the new fueling, changing the fueling,
Right.
and there's good and bad in that. And it also will be like a new growth in jobs.
Right.
And we have a lot of land that needs to be used,
Mm-hmm.
and we have so much here
Yeah, it
in
is.
East Cleveland. I noticed some of the council now, they are trying to get as they call downtown Euclid,
Mm-hmm.
East Cleveland,
Okay.
to get that active again.
Right.
They're opening a new film station down there.
Yeah.
We had a lot of eateries,
Right.
and some of them need to be on the list for entrepreneurship in East Cleveland.
Right. That's what I
And
would
so we're
like.
trying to get our young people interested.
Right.
We can make our own jobs,
Yeah.
a lot of things.
Right. Well, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
People talk about the lack of quality grocery stores in East Cleveland.
yes.
We can open our own grocery store.
Well, we used to have them.
Yeah, we sure did.
Uh,
Yeah.
I noticed now, Hayden, the people are more active coming to their council meetings
Mhm.
and encouraged to come to the mayor meetings and be involved in our government. And they are expecting renovation of our businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Coney's down here, they've rebuilt
Yeah.
and re-cleaned and rehab, I should say. Because it got to the point where most of the people would not do business in East Cleveland.
Right. Right.
And it's coming back.
It's coming back.
Right.
Well, Ms. Martin, I want to thank you so much for this interview. I think this is your interview and your story is going to be an asset to this project that we're putting together. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your time.
Well, Mr. Hank, I feel honored that you even asked me to participate.
Well, I know that you had a story to tell. Well, thank you again.
Till we meet again.
Thank you. Any last words you want to say before I cut it off? I think I have 1 more minute on here.
Well, all I can say is, East Cleveland, I hope that I'll still be around when in your glory as we trudge up the road,
Okay.
and that we're on our way.
Well, you
And
always
we're glad to
there.
be a part of it.
You
a
always
part
be there
of
in
it.
our heart. Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thank you.